kind of raised around music. My dad had a lot of musician friends and kind of raised up on like this, he was a really big classic country fan, you know, Hank Williams, Johnny Cash, all those kind of players, and Hank Snow and so forth. So music was always in my house. There was always guitars around. And so that's kind of where it started for me, just picking up guitars, not knowing what I was doing, banging around on them, and, you know, his friends showed me a few open chords, strings like that. But, you know, when I started hearing bands like Steppenwolf, you know, the early Alice Cooper group, you know, all these bands, you know, from the late 60s, early 70s, you know, and really totally put me down a different path, you know. I mean, kind of like classic country was kind of a vehicle to get started, but it was only a vehicle to get to, you know, playing rock and roll, really. And, you know, everything just kind of evolved from there. And then
we all got free admittance to see in '54.
But, you know, and then moving along, you know, started hearing like heavier bands throughout the mid-'70s. You know, of course, you know, bands like Sabbath and Blue Cheer, early ZZ Top, stuff like that. Which I guess a lot of people don't consider really heavy these days, but it was, to me, it's still heavy.
That's a crusher.
You know,
that's the real deal.
It's, you know, it's hard rock, man, and that's really what we are. We're just a hard rock band. We've, you know, accumulated a lot of different labels along the way, but it really comes back around to blues-based rock. Anyway, man, I mean, that's the short version. So.
Okay, well, now tell them the long version. Yeah. We don't have to say anything.
Yeah, to make a short story long.
So
that's my forte.
I can't let Bobby talk because he'll talk the rest of the time. So I'll butt in ahead of him real quick.
Okay.
So for me, it's similar, I guess, but different. I was fortunate enough to basically be brought up with pentagram music, and Victor showing me guitar when I was 12, back in the mid '80s, and so obviously the same influences he just mentioned with Black Sabbath and Alice Cooper group and stuff like that come from him. And so I guess evolution through the years with the band, I was able to play with one of my favorite bands. So that's my short.
Nephew, by the way.
Oh yeah, I guess to finish, yeah. Put the whole story together. Yeah. But yeah.
He's my nephew too.
Yeah.
But we're not
by
related.
proxy.
We're not related.
Yeah. Just because he needs one.
Yeah.
That's my short story. like to the fans. I mean,
That's
me
why I
personally, you know, like I said, I was a huge fan of the band for so long, and then being able to be in the band, you know, kind of I feel it's like kind of honored that it's somewhat my job to help bring the band to all these new people and old, you know, older
It is.
fans,
I mean,
new
you're the
fans.
youngest guy in the group, you know.
So and that's the fun part, to
Or a
see
bunch
people's
of old
faces
farts.
that, you know, may have waited 20 years to see the band, and just yelling the words. And, you know, last night we played Philly, and I could hear people,
Then
you know, in front of me yelling
Fair
over
My
top
Queen,
of all the
and-
music,
yeah.
like singing.
They were as
I'm
loud as we
singing
were.
that loud.
And that's a trip when they do that. I love hearing that. You know, I mean, when Jack White and Deb Weather came on Jimmy Kimmel's show, for instance, and they picked "Forever My Queen" to do as a song, and that goes up to 60 million people, and it's mind-boggling. You know, I called their management, and they had in 24 hours they FedExed me 5 copies of the single. You know, stuff like that's a trip. It's something you never expected to get near, let alone to be, you know, an integral part of and within.
But the drive also to keep, you know, just to keep going is just to, you know, there's a creative drive, you know, with any art, whether it's music or
Yeah.
painting or whatever it might be, you know. So it's like so much more fulfilling to be able to have that creative drive and get the stuff out there, but also have an audience for it, you know, that's.
I spilled my milk. Well, I got bitten. Cold moon on an endless night, I could feel the change. Loud roaring lightning strikes, and to break the chains. Can't believe what you see. Something tells you come to me. I touch my lips to your breast. My teeth is your bliss. Am I your love? Am I your love? In the darkness, with all the night. Am I your love? Ruby tears like rain blowing down your back. I hold you in my arm, your vision face of black, forever lasting love. Our souls have become. I've given you all of this and seal it with a kiss. Am I your love? Am I your love? King of darkness, Prince of the night. Am I your love? Oh, fuck. Strength I love.
To me, all I listened to is 1967 through 73. Everything I listened to is bands that were spawned in that era. I listened to UFO and Wishbone Ash almost exclusively. Those are my heroes right there.
Yeah, it's the natural cycle, of anything really. But and it's cool to hear. I mean, I guess the Graveyards, the Queens of the Stone Age, and stuff like that. Kind of more of a
psychedelic acid rock.
Yeah,
just that little psychedelic feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so does that mean in a few years we're going to be subject to 80s hair bands again? Probably.
God forbid.
I'll grow my hair back out then.
We're on, one of the bands that we're on the road with right now, is Radio Moscow, and they kind of are a throwback to that same style,
And then you got Bang.
And Bang, of course, yeah.
To us,
I mean,
it was like, wow, what's wrong with this picture? Actually, in the back, I know of every one of our heads, because they didn't get what they should have gotten when they were out, 71 through 3, but they're getting it now, and I thank God they're around. They're great guys, Frank and Frankie Farrar and Gilkin are just, they're the most. They're real people, man, and they play real music too. It's segmented, separate songs that you can understand. It's not, it doesn't sound like somebody with meningitis or something. The material's great. It's good to hear it played live. They're great live.
And it's sort of a generational thing too. I mean, like the style of stuff that Bobby was just mentioning is not my cup of tea at all. It's I hear some bands and musically they, I dig what they're doing musically, but then when you throw in, the Cookie Monster vocals and things like that. I mean, I realize also, in this, there's a place for that, For some people, it's just not my thing.
Yeah.
So.
In the cookie jar.
Yeah.
With the top on.
Right. But, we all kind of come, even with the difference in our ages and stuff, we have the same basic roots as far as our taste in music. We came from a place where there definitely wasn't so much mediocrity in music, and
mundanity.
There were bands. Bands didn't just just because they could fill out a 35 or 40-minute set of music, it didn't mean that it was actually time to go put yourself in front of people. There was a ebb and flow to the whole thing.
You have to polish a certain finesse that a lot of these bands.
Yeah, there was an expectation of, of the thing, not like there is now. I mean, it's just people. There's such an oversaturation, of
They come for the happening kind of more than they do at all for the music. It seems like a lot of times they just come so they can get crocked with their friends, or get high or whatever it is, and we don't do that anymore. So. I mean, we've been through all those eras, been through all those things, but we don't do it.
Honey, please, don't let me be misunderstood. Sometimes I get so carefree, with a joy that's hard to hide. misunderstood. Listen, if I get easy, I want you to know that I've never been to take it out on you, yeah. Life has its problems, and I got my share. And that's one thing I never mean to do, 'cause I love you.
Yeah, we're supposed to go in December, and we're supposed to start and complete, I guess, in December and January, let's say. If it runs over the holidays, close things down kind of for most of the world, for obvious reasons. But we're doing a new studio album, and, it'll be, I don't know how many it makes, but a whole lot of them. And we've got material that we haven't even learned some of it, off the new album. We know some other ones, and a few songs that we haven't done that we want to redo, like that, and it should be out. We're back with Peaceful Snapper, which is still under Sony's umbrella, so hopefully we'll get the stuff out to people, because it's under that distribution worldwide, and, we were with Peaceful on the first 3 albums. And that's how many years ago? My God, they've been with us very religiously for 20, 25, almost 25 years. And they wanted it back. And it's also it's got a DVD, even though DVDs don't sell anymore, it does have a DVD with it, and the DVD spans like 30, 35 years of us.
Yeah, the DVD will actually be out in February.
Yeah.
So it'll be a couple of months before the new album.
Right. And they're promoting the new album, starting mass promotion starts on November 2nd, they said, or the first week in November. So right as soon as we finish touring, there's going to be an announcement that, hey, we're going to give it another shot.
Yeah. So the DVD is pretty cool. It spans like from 81, 82, up till
now
2012, 14. Oh, the San Francisco show in 2014.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it covers a lot of ground. You know, some of it's professionally shot video and some of it's fan shot video. But there's just some really cool stuff in there. And
Yeah,
there's
it's
a lot
got
of stuff that people
CVGVs
haven't
and,
ever
you know,
seen before, and you
stuff
know,
like
so a
that.
few little behind the scenes
Hellfest,
stuff. You
you know,
know,
what's
kind of
it?
cool things. You know, from over the years. So
Right.
it should be a cool package.
Now all sell their souls away to the one downstairs they think protects them. After they die, oh, drink one more last time for me.
We have a copy ourselves, and it's just on DVDRs, you know, of us like recording the whole Before Warned album. We documented all through that and everything. Greg, you know, helped film that, and you know, I'm sure there'll be a few bits and
Someday, yeah,
pieces.
someday, all the little things will be out there.
Yeah, yeah. It's a pretty wild ride. That's all. You know, it's like that we're holding up under all of it. Thank God.
Certainly, like music towns, Austin, Texas, and Providence, Rhode Island. Who knew that? I didn't.
Providence.
Greece.
Wow. Oh, and St. Paul, Minnesota. They were crazy, but in Minneapolis and in St. Paul.
So,
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, Europe it covers a broader spectrum. I mean, in the States, it's kind of hit and miss a lot of times. You know,
Yeah.
you have like the hot spots. You know, like
Yeah,
Greg said,
we
like
got-
Austin, and you know.
We got California, New
Stuff like
York,
that.
of course, and Texas.
Then you have all the
Pop,
kind
pop,
of weaker
Minnesota.
spots. It's you know, it's just less fans. You know, you have like bigger pockets
are.
of fans here and there. Europe is
Packed every place, you know.
yeah, it's just
It's a madhouse
like a
over there.
bigger, I don't know what you call it, bigger population or bigger. People just tend to get out more
They
to
like-
shows.
they
you know,
appreciate the arts more,
they seem
too.
to be not that you know. I think people in the United States support the music kind of differently than the Europeans support the music. So Europeans just really get out.
They
and
love the
shows,
performing
you know.
arts live.
Yeah.
You know, it's where in America they listen to the radio is good enough. You know, it's like,
And that's not to, you know, downplay the people who
No.
do support the shows,
course
but it
not.
could be just a much stronger scene if everybody sort of pulled together on things.
Yeah.
But now there's just, you know, with the internet and everything else, there's so many choices of entertainment. People, you know, just bands aren't like the big deal that they once were. You know, you could like, you know, if you saw a sign that said live band, it didn't even really matter. That was just a cool thing. Let's go check this band out. They have a band. Oh, but
like
now it's, you know, with all the choices we have with entertainment and media and everything else, you know, people have so many things to choose from. It kind of waters down everything. But anyway.
watch blind ping pong if you want to on 8 stations at the same time. They only hit the ball one way though.
But we've been fortunate, you know, to be
Sorry,
plugging
I'm
away, you know,
terrible.
for so many years. I mean, Bobby and I met in '81, and you know, there was a chemistry there from the very start, you know, and we've been together off and on ever since. But I mean, nobody ever dreamed that Pentagram would have this. I wouldn't really call it a resurgence because we were never.
We never made it.
we never surged, you know. So
We're surging now.
yeah.
All your sins I can.
know, to be around for so many years at our age, and you know, and look out into the audience, and there's this whole, like, you know, there's like anywhere from, you know, 15 years old to 60 or maybe even 70 years old.
There's 6-year-olds even too
people
out there.
and they're all
kids.
singing these lyrics, man, from
Yeah.
songs that we wrote, you know, 30, 40 years ago.
Well,
It's just the coolest thing
It
in
is.
the world, and I think we all just are very grateful and fortunate and thankful. You know,
One of the
that
most
we
touching-
still have this opportunity, you know, because a lot of bands don't get nearly as many opportunities as we've had, and still be here to take advantage of all that. So
one of the most touching things I can remember, I think, was we were over in Europe, and these people brought their kids, and the kids had little tiny Pentagram shirts on, right? And it was really cute. And there was a little boy, and he had real long hair, and he wanted to give me a hug, right? And I have a 4-year-old, so it's, you know, I can relate with that a whole lot. And the kid came up and gave me a hug. And then when his parents said, come on, and they're walking away, he broke loose from his parents and came back and held onto my leg, which is about how tall he was, right? And he wouldn't let go, and it made me feel really warm in my heart because, you know, it's, I mean, you're going 6 to 60. That's a lot of years in between there listening to us, and we never had that before. So it's fun being, we're not arena rock, we're not, you know, Aerosmith or Black Sabbath or bands like that, but we feel like we finally kind of made the major leagues, I guess. You know, we got a shot. At least it's hard to get in at all. I mean, you know, you're bucking some kind of friggin' odds when you know, talking sports, professional sports, or entertainment.
It's amazing to move, though it's sometimes a band, it's a pentagram. Shotgun blast as you run to the wind, but it just can't win, it's a pentagram. Now, don't know how, when it's happened to me. Got the love from above, but it's happened to me. A black cloud hangs and it just won't leave, though it wants to believe. It's a pentagram, hard to conceive, and he tries to perceive, though it gets in the grave. It's a pentagram. Now I don't know how, but it's happened to me. Got the love from above, but it's happened to me. Yeah. Oh, I can't cut back down. It's all right.
thing about the band is, I guess good and the bad. The band's been around for so long, and has such a catalog that like new but it's never been like, I guess, overexposed. So new fans that come in from the movie or from the latest record or from touring or whatever, all of a sudden there's this 30 years of back catalog that they can go into. It's like, oh wow, this is like real, like classic heavy music, and it's all available now. So as new music almost.
I mean, it's like on the merch tables. We just this year. I mean, we have every product we've done virtually on the merch table. All the albums, and they're all vinyl copies of all of them, and CDs of all of them. And we never had that before. It's one or two different little things, sparse, here and there. You had your pockets, like Victor said. It's like in New York they love us, in California they love us, in Texas, and way up north, in Minnesota, Michigan area. But for the most part, we were, a virtual unknown, and we still are.
And the movies helped on that. It's
yeah, definitely.
I mean, opened up to just such a broader audience with people that it was on running Showtime pretty regularly for the past year or 2 years.
Yeah.
And people, or I guess Howard Stern mentioning it, and
it
Metal Show mentioning it.
And it's on that A Trunk, talked about us on the Metal Show, and likes us a lot apparently. And Ozzy, I got a letter from Ozzy 3 days ago that he had, watched the movie, and he said he was crying and all this stuff, and it was, it's pretty deep stuff when you realize that you're, even near the plateau that these people have gotten to, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Now we're finally getting a shot. So.
Yeah, and it's just, and with that, with the name getting dropped because of the movie. But the thing is, the music, there still has to be substance to the music. And so I guess it sort of, proves to us in a way that, all these years there has been substance.
We are worthy.
Yeah, in a sense, because if the, if the product is only hyped because of the drama of the movie or because this and that, then it's really not going to be any longevity. It's going to come and go just like everything else does.
That's the music business now. Blow it. So it's the whole thing like that, and that's about it. You don't get a shot. Millions of bands playing everywhere. I mean, like we have bands that really look up to us, that say that we spawned them, and I can understand it. I can't hear it, but I can understand what they're talking about, and it's very flattering and humbling.
Yeah, absolutely, because it does go back to people have a million choices.
Right.
We don't have to be one of their choices, but we're fortunate enough to be, and to some people anyway. So.
Your love is more than a tease, and I'm going all of my heart. Your situation all around, girl, and no need to be sure know what you said. I awake in the darkness and I look around, there is no sound. It's so tranquil, it's so calm like you. But now I hear a noise. Is there any way out of this nightmare? I'm alone now, and you're laughing at me. But I take life, believe that, in a way that you could never see. So when you're leaving, you better let me know.